The iconic Ozzy Osbourne has died suddenly after years of illness, which mysteriously started after getting vaccinated. So it happened, surprising no one. Republicans are now using the death of Ozzy Osbourne as an anti-vax conspiracy theory. Is no one safe? Is no one safe to just die in peace without conservatives being like, but you know, they have been vaccinated in their life, so it's obviously the vaccines. You know, I breathe oxygen. I'm gonna die one day. Is it the oxygen killing me? This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. And today we are going to be returning to r/insanepeople Facebook. I'm sure you can guess some of the subjects that are probably going to come up quite frequently in this video today. Also, it is very warm today, so apologies if I look a bit shiny today. I'm a little bit sweaty. It's very humid. But yeah, I think that's the thing. It's not like excessively warm, but it's really humid today. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention, as always, YouTube members and patrons, you guys get one extra video every single week. That comes out every single Monday, and you get that for as low as £1 a month. That equates to about 25p per video. So if that is something that interests you, please do consider joining. Other than that, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? Galago. I call on my fellow senators to join me in demanding that the DOJ release the Epstein files. Mullin. This is nothing but political theater trying to go after a president they despise. I object. Here's the thing, right? Is this not just an admission of guilt? Is this person not saying they believe Donald Trump is on those files? You know, if Donald Trump releases those files and he's not on them, he clears his name and also gains favor from a lot of people because he is the president who released the Epstein files and incriminated a lot of people. And additionally, evidence suggests that there are people from both sides on there. You know, evidence would suggest that Clinton is on there. They suggest that Trump is on there. But, you know, as a left-leaning person and also as a more liberal person, I'd think that anybody that's on that list should be in jail. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum. I don't care. If you're on that list, if you have slept with children, you should be in jail. But the Republicans, on the other hand, they think that if Trump's on it, then that's enough reason to mean that they shouldn't publish that list. And claiming that we're going after Donald Trump, a president we dislike, based on this list is like, if you are saying that, then that means that you believe he's on that list. And that means that you believe that the list shouldn't be released because of that, which means you believe that you are supporting a pedophile. Waters, you weren't on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you? RFK Jr. I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times, but otherwise I was never on his jet alone. I went a bit Bane there. I was trying to simulate the guy that sounds like he's struggling to talk at all times while his brain is being devoured by a worm. It's just, look, I find it hilarious that he was given every opportunity to lie, to say, I was never on Epstein's jet. I wouldn't do that. I would never have associated with a man like that. And he didn't do it. He couldn't do it because the worm in his brain has eaten so much of it that he isn't capable of lying. He can't do it because he doesn't realize that he needs to. The world's talking about Epstein and the fact that he was a very prolific pedophile that supplied underage girls for so many people, and he's like, yeah, I was on his jet. I wasn't on it alone though. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, RFK. That's the not being alone is the thing. Listen up, R-words. The boss asks everyone to cut the shit with Epstein, so cut the shit. Is it going to change any of your lives whatsoever if you find out some celebrity or politician f***ed a 16-year-old on Lolita Island? It's not, so shut the f*** up and stop whining already. Where the files? Shut up, you're not getting them, so get over it. F***ing guy has been absolutely killing it for 6 months now. He's got more done than any president in all our lifetimes, and you assholes are whining about this stupid shit. Bunch of clowns, brokies, crying about shit way over their pay grade. Guy got fucking shot once and almost died again for you morons. Shut the fuck up and let him do his job. Wow, if that's not cope, I don't know what is. Again, there's things that he says that are just flat out wrong, and then there are things that he says that is literally covering for a pedophile. First of all, 16-year-olds, they were younger than that. They were younger than that on Lolita Island. Second of all, yes, it matters and affects people's lives if someone that was sleeping with underage girls is the president of the most powerful country in in the world. Yes, that affects people's lives. And elevating people like him and other politicians that were doing that matters. That is an issue. Editor's note, I was really trying to remember what this all reminded me of, you know? We've got a global conspiracy that's suddenly been brought to light. We have the one person that's able to bring it to light mysteriously dying. And then it hit me, right? This is basically the Panama Papers all over again. You know, you had a woman bring to light a global conspiracy about, you know, thousands of people with offshore accounts and millions and billions of dollars of money being stored in offshore accounts to avoid taxes, you know? Immediately after her bringing this to light, she was assassinated by a car bomb put in her car, at which point, you know, the people responsible, the 3 dudes, admitted to killing her. It's something they were very clearly, you know, paid to do. And what's happened? What's happened as a result of the Panama Papers, you know, that were released in 2016, yeah? 9 years ago, right? What's happened? Nothing. Nothing has happened. You know what's happening now with the Epstein lists? Exactly the same thing. Republicans, they're trying to brush it under the rug, trying to act like there was nothing there and that nothing will happen. We cannot let this become the next Panama Papers. It's bad enough that that already happened. We can't let this happen again. Killing it for 6 months is also just peak delusion, because the 6 months have been actual dog shit. The economy's in shambles. The tariffs haven't worked. The rights for everybody, not just immigrants and queer people, the rights for everyone have been harmed. He's a terrible president. Like, no matter how you look at it, if he's on the Epstein list, he's a pedophile. If he's not on the Epstein list, he's still one of the worst presidents of all time. Yes or no? Did 24 girls die in Texas flooding in part because Trump gutted NOAA and the National Weather Service? At Grok. Yes, Trump's 2025 cuts slashed NOAA/WS funding by 30% and staff by 17%, impairing forecast accuracy. Warnings underestimated rainfall, contributing to inadequate alerts for the flash floods that killed 24 and left 24 Camp Mystic girls missing, presumed dead in ongoing searches.
Yo, Elon Musk, what the f*** is this shit? Grok is woke and full of shit. What the f*** is happening to X?
Getting mad at Grok for this is like getting mad at the scale when it says you're overweight. I will never not find it funny that Elon Musk built an AI deliberately to verify right-wing claims. The whole goal was so that it would verify right-wing claims and spread misinfo. And yet there is so little evidence that supports right-wing claims that no matter how they train this AI, if you ask it a question, it will probably say something against right-wing. It will say something against Elon Musk or Trump. And I find that fucking hilarious every time it happens. How are you gonna make an AI deliberately to push your own talking points and it still fail and you still have people go, Elon, your AI is woke. What is this shit? It's not woke, it's fact. You're just delusional if you believe otherwise.
Hospital staff assault ICE agents who were trying to arrest illegals in California. According to DHS, the staff attempted to obstruct ICE by locking the door, blocking vehicles, and calling the cops, claiming there was a kidnapping. Obstructing ICE is a crime.
So naturally, they left out a lot of important context. Piece of context 1, the person that ICE was trying to remove was literally currently undergoing treatment, was in the middle of treatment. Point 2, the people trying to take him away, the ICE members, were wearing masks, not wearing badge numbers, not wearing names. If you were going to go into a building with zero identification, zero proof of who you are, other than a badge that says ICE on your chest that literally anyone could buy on eBay, you are kidnapping. Also, assault. And then the assault that they mention is blocking the door, blocking their cars, and calling the cops. You know those things that you're supposed to do if someone's like trying to break into your house or you're worried someone's going to, is lock the door, hide, and call the cops? That's what they were doing when some masked, unmarked, unbadged officers tried to kidnap a man from his hospital bed. And yet somehow Republicans are like, these are the good guys. These guys turning up to a hospital wearing no identification and wearing masks and trying to kidnap a man currently undergoing treatment. They're the good guys.
America deserves the truth about Jeffrey Epstein and the rich, powerful elites in his circle. The line is drawn with anyone who abuses children and vulnerable, innocent people.
You just voted to block the release of the Epstein files. Of course she did. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's almost a guarantee that if she talks about something, she has voted against it. Every single thing she complains about, when she complains about support for veterans, for mothers, she was complaining about baby powder and baby formula at one point. Every single time she has complained about anything, she votes against it because her best interests are not the American people, they are her paycheck. The fact that she can even vote on these things while saying these things, the fact that people have voted for her to hold the position she holds is insane. Do people really see the bullshit she's saying and just believe it at face value? They don't look at a single thing she's voted on, a single bill she's passed. They don't even try and verify any of her claims. They just go, yep, good enough for me. I'm gonna vote her into power. And then she votes against every single thing she stands for. She has never once voted in the interest of the American people. Never once. If you look at the amount of money she had before she was in office and then the amount of money she has after, a lot richer after holding office. You know why that is? It's because they buy stocks and then make votes that inflate those stock numbers. They buy stocks in medical companies, you know, hospitals and health insurance, and then they pass bills that slashes health access for people, which bolsters the amount that those companies are worth. They do this because money is involved. They don't care about the American people. They couldn't care less if you die. Stop voting for them.
Amazing! The US received over $100 billion in tariff revenue in January 2025, with $300 billion expected by the end of the year.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you tax produce. You know, this is $100 billion and a potential $300 billion not in the pockets of American people, right? This is $100 billion that American people have had to spend on products because those products cost more for American people as a result of the tariffs, right? You know, the party of small government and less taxes is celebrating $100 billion in taxes that the US citizens have had to pay. Meanwhile, the richest people in the country are sitting back going, yeah, this is nice. I've not had to spend any of my money on taxes. They're not getting taxed. Meanwhile, you're celebrating that the cost of living in the country is the highest it's ever been because the tariffs have driven prices up so much and the US people are having to account for that and pay for that. And they're celebrating that money not being in the US citizens' pockets. Do Republicans hate America? I think so.
The big beautiful bill kicks 1.4 million illegal immigrants off Medicaid. Great! Online it's been spreading that part of the bill was stripped out. I'm glad to hear it's in there and the misinformation campaign is being called out.
We're celebrating taking away Medicare from 1.4 million people. That's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating taking away medical access for over 1 million people. They're celebrating that like they're the good guys, like they're doing a great thing that is taking away medical access for over 1 million people. 1.5 million human beings, likely already impoverished and living in poor conditions with little money. We're celebrating taking away their access to healthcare. If that's not the most Republican thing I've ever heard, I don't know what is.
Yes, we hated Obama like you hate Trump. But we hated Obama because he hates America. You hate Trump because you hate America.
You didn't hate Obama like we hate Trump, because we don't hate Trump for anything other than what Trump has done. You hated Obama because he was black, because a black man had the audacity to get elected president. That's it. That's the only reason they hated Obama. And acting like Obama hates America, but Trump loves America and we hate Trump because we hate America. My feelings for Donald Trump and, you know, how much I dislike him and dislike him as a president has nothing to do with America as a country. It has everything to do with what Donald Trump himself does and stands for. Okay? I dislike Trump because he's a racist, homophobic, transphobic, rapist, pedophile, con artist, Russian asset who stole money from a children's charity, supports the genocide of minorities, opposes medical science, and is in the process of launching a dictatorship. Everything I dislike about Trump is solely based on the actions of Trump. Nothing else. It's got nothing to do with America as a country. Omar Fateh announces mayoral run in Minneapolis, pledging to raise the minimum wage, freeze rent, and Trump-proof the city.
This is clearly not an American. We need to stop accepting this nonsense.
Omar was born in Washington, D.C. Claiming that he's not an American because you disagree with his political views is racism. Plain and simple. There is no other way to look at it than that. If you believe he's not American because you disagree with his political views, you're a racist. By all means, disagree with his political views. You're allowed to do that. That's your right. But acting like he shouldn't be allowed to run for the position he's running for because you don't believe that he's American, despite the fact that he was born in America, is racism. Plain and simple, it's mask off racism. And that's where I'm going to end the video, everybody. The Republican Party is the party of pedophiles, racists, and rapists. Thank you for watching. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely helps so much, and it genuinely means so much. So thank you to everybody that does. And if you do support me, you will get one extra video every single week, and you can get that for as low as £1 a month. So genuinely thank you to everybody that does. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.